Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well today. If you are not a member of my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon, subscribe to my channel, and give this video a like. That would really help my channel out a lot. And speaking of which, I have some very surprise news. I'm not going to say it today. It's getting ready to go down. It's getting ready to go down. I got some great stuff planned. And let's just say in a few months, there's going to be some really interesting information or things that I'll be doing that you just might want to be a part of and check out and be along for the ride. Let's just say that. Trouble. There's this pressure. There's this pressure cooker of information that's just going to blow. It's just going to blow. We know this whole South Park episode has been really devastating for Harry and Meghan. And even Kenzie Schofield was talking about how the word on the street is that Harry and Meghan are not really getting along that well. There's trouble in paradise because of all the things that have been happening the last couple of months. And they have been planning the things that we're seeing now since they were in the royal family. So we know that they've been having these really strategic goals to do the things that we're seeing with the book and with the Netflix and Meghan doing her Spotify. These are all things that were planned. Well, now the planning has boiled over and the end result is not very good. People are talking about the couple not getting along. And you look at most couples, the majority, I would even have to say so much as 90%. 90% of couples that work together, that are in the media, that do shows together, their marriage cannot survive this. It does not survive. Why? Because the stress, the ridicule, the pressure of it all really gets to you. And so that's what's happening right now with Harry and Meghan. Now, I do know that Harry is going to be in front of everyone for another interview that was pre-recorded with Stephen Colbert. It's going to drop on February 28th. And also March 4th, Harry is going to be participating in a virtual event to discuss his book Spare. It's going to be a question and answer event, and yeah, let's see if he brings up anything that he saw in South Park. And also they're talking about Harry and Meghan in their separate dealings, that Meghan is out meeting with very wealthy donors, trying to get money for her charity, trying to make the rounds on her own without Harry. We know that they haven't been seen together in months, and you have to almost feel sorry for the children because they're the innocent victims that have come between this couple and all of their shenanigans. This is not going to end well. I know there's a lot of talk right now about Meghan writing a book. She, in the coming months, I believe, my opinion, is going to start trying to really get out more independent of Harry. There were reports that she was embarrassed about the things that were in Spare, the backlash, they weren't expecting it. The coronation is coming up. They really haven't accepted the invitation yet. We don't know if they're coming. There were reports that Harry may do a commentary, about the coronation. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen at this point. But you best be believing, Meghan's going to want to go to the coronation so she can wear that tiara and she can still show her connection to royalty. Now, the other thing that was coming out in the reports is that Meghan is feeling left out of the coronation. She's feeling like they're trying to help Harry and not so much her. But what do you expect when you are essentially the outsider? You're not really connected to the royal family. And they're going to look out for Harry more than anything. They don't really want to try to help Meghan. Why? Why? I mean, we can all see that trying to help Meghan is not going to get you to win over her. She's going to backstab you. She's going to treat it in a way that's not respected, that she even thinks that she is still within the royal fold enough that they should consider her when making the plans for the coronation. It's so ludicrous, and I don't understand it. But, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I know I'm very curious about the coming months, especially with the the coronation? Like, what will happen? Will we be able to see the body language tension? Because I know for William, if Harry shows up, I think that's going to cause William a lot of stress. It's going to make things a lot more difficult for him and for the rest of the family. They're going to be really like on eggshells with this couple. And this is another story that I am so happy to talk about is Prince William is set to follow in his mother's footsteps. And I think as Americans, we see William doing the work that his mother did. We'll have more of a connection to someone like William because we can see his mother through his actions. We cannot see Diana through the actions of Harry. We can see William is more in line with the work of Diana. This is how I think Americans will warm to William more because, and they have. I went to the Earthshot Prize Awards. People were flocking to see William and Catherine. There were so many people there. They couldn't wait for them to get out of the vehicle so that they could see them. It was so much good vibes that he will continue to do the work of Diana and grow more here in America. And the counter to that will be Harry. Because think about it. In any situation with beloved people, there's always, are you on this side or are you on that side? And I think what we're seeing right now is we're seeing this good versus evil. And we see William being the good guy, following in line with our beloved Diana. And then we see Harry doing the opposite. And we want to see the contrast of the two because they are so different in how they go about things. And the more Harry and Meghan try to align with the work of Diana, but proving false to it through their actions, they are going to make themselves continue to not fare well within the public eye. But people seeing William doing what he's doing, coming to America for the Earthshot Prize Award, continuing with that effort in itself, helping people who are in need, like really, really making a difference. This is what American people are going to warm to. They're going to warm to somebody who is giving us the Diana vibe. And William is doing that. And Harry is the counter to that. And people are going to play off of that, and they're going to be pro-William more than they will Harry. Now, while Harry is going to continue doing his shenanigans with his wife, at some point, Harry and Meghan are no longer going to be a couple doing what they do. They're going to be separate, and it's going to be them trying to do their own thing. And Harry will never rise up to the level of a William because of the backlash from South Park, from the book Spare, from the things about his wife. There were reports saying that their numbers have dropped below Prince Andrew. They're not as liked in America as they used to be since this whole South Park smackdown. And you can only imagine what that is doing for their relationship, Harry and Meghan's relationship. How can you really be focused on helping people, really putting together a cause to make and do the most good when you are being mocked in real time on the world stage and your brother is upstaging you? Your brother is doing the work that is so meaningful and likable. And you and your wife have become disdained. You have become a laughing stock. You have become so ridiculed. And what makes it worse for Harry and Meghan is that they cannot laugh about it. They can't address it. I think had they come out and said something about how funny it was or, okay, haha, yeah, I can be like that sometimes or whatever, it would have made it so much better for people to see them in a better light. But because they did not react to it, because there were reports coming out that they were going to sue, and then it was like, no, we're not going to sue, which I believe the lawyer saw you don't have a case. So they came out and said, oh, those were lies. We're not going to sue, and it's just the back and forth of everything. We can tell they're not really doing very well because of what we do see come out into the media. The hypocrisy of this couple is going to be their downfall. It has already begun to fall. And William is upstaging them and Catherine in a very, very big way. And I can't imagine how this marriage is going on behind closed doors right now. It has to be a catastrophe. from all angles. It has to be. I mean, how do you still have a loving marriage and you are pro each other's goals in life when you are being laughed at? Your whole brand, everything you planned since you left the royal family, since you were in the royal family that you've been planning, has collapsed. How do you build up from there? You can't build up from there. You don't have a good foundation. Speaking of which, their popularity has sunk even further. So their approval ratings are a -10, while Meghan's hits a -17, making them actually less popular than Prince Andrew. He's at -2. What? Yeah. It's like people in America, like with the news cycle here, we'll see things and we'll see them being mocked, and we'll see that they haven't said anything. They haven't come out to laugh at themselves or to make light of it. That just lets people know that it's true. What happened on South Park is really true. That's how you really are, because you're not even addressing it in a fun, kind of way. You're not trying to make light of it. You're taking it very seriously. And there were also reports that Harry contacted the writers saying what was true and what was not, and they were like, "Hey, dude, it's a cartoon. Stop." Now, speaking of which, the cartoon was really good. We all know that. But then I started looking at it again and I was thinking, wow, isn't Harry more in line with the aggression? He's the one who is trying to take his wife on all these places, and he's the one encouraging her and saying all of these things that are not coming out to be good for them. And in the end, he ends up leaving his wife. And to me, what that says is Meghan doesn't even have a voice in the cartoon. She's going along with what her husband is telling her to do about privacy. When Kyle was, when Harry went over and accosted Kyle for making racist claims about his wife, it was Harry that did that. It was Harry that walked out of the interview. It was Harry that went to the brand management. It was Harry that was doing all of these things that made Meghan seem like she was following in her husband's footsteps. And if you think about the character of Meghan, that can be even more of a dig on Meghan's part, because now she no longer has a voice, even in being mocked on South Park. She is following the lead of her husband, who has put her in this predicament. And it's almost as if she is the one who has been silenced into being ridiculed. That is what started to come out towards my mind when I saw it. I was like, ooh, yeah. It was like Harry, you're the one that has put her in this position. And then in the end, Harry ended up growing from what happened. He ended up becoming a better person, and wanted to continue playing his drums, beating to his own drum, essentially. And Meghan stayed behind in her shallow, hollow self, because she needs the brand management to help her find some identity, because she can't find it authentically. She can only find it through a contrived way of being. It can't be a natural thing for her. And there are also reports that they're going to be coming out with more South Park episodes. This is not the end. So how can your marriage uphold the ridicule on a world stage? Although it was done with Catherine and William when they got married. But it wasn't really a big deal at that time, because they were still over in England doing what they do. They saw it. It was okay. They mocked the royals. And then people went on still liking the royals. And like I said previously, the difference with Harry and Meghan being mocked in this South Park episode is that they're trying to build their brand off of something that has not been established. People that have been mocked on these shows prior have all been people that have had well-placed careers, doing very well for themselves. Harry and Meghan are just getting started. So when you come out the gate trying to get your identity set in America, trying to build a life for yourself, and you're mocked right when you come out the gate, you don't even have a chance to win. It's like the gates open for you to get to going, and as soon as the gates open, it's like you fall down. How can you win a race like that? How can you win anything when you're trying to get out there going to propel yourself in a new career, and immediately you are knocked down? Others are not affected as much because they've already got the momentum of their careers. They can see a South Park episode, laugh at it, get mad, sue. But at the end of the day, they still have their careers. They still have their notoriety. They still have their celebrity. Harry and Meghan were getting known. They were starting to build something. People didn't really know them. And the ratings have now dropped so bad because the South Park episode really had an influence on people's perception of them. And this is why it's not going to be good for the marriage. This is why this is not going to be good for the marriage. It's not going to be good for their children because they're going to be in the middle of this as they get older. They're so young. Their whole growing up is going to be a part of this really nasty divide of this marriage that is coming. It's not good for their making money. And at the end of the day, Meghan is going to try to just build her individual career off of her husband and what has already happened. She's going to still try to keep going above the water. She ain't going down yet, y'all. She's going to keep fighting. And she's going to keep fighting to do it by herself. So that's what it is. Trouble in paradise with the marriage. This whole South Park has really been a big influence. And the book Spirit coming out right before the South Park did not help. The timing was horrible for Harry's book to come out. I mean, you think about it. Netflix. Okay, first of all, it was Spotify. It was because all this stuff over on Spotify. And then we had the Netflix. Then we had the Spare. And now we have the South Park. All of these things, these negative things, nothing is really good. And your perception, how people perceive you that don't really know you here in America, is not very good. You weren't able to build on that which you have been planning since 2019. You can only imagine what is to come next. And I think it's only going to get worse. It's not going to be a good thing for their children. It's really sad. But we can only hope that at some point, maybe just maybe, through the king's coronation, some reconciliation, through the king's coronation, we can only hope that they can come together and perhaps show some humility, be better. I think there is a way back if they can show some humility and try to not be so boisterous with their personalities and with their projects. But we all know that's not going to happen. We know it ain't going to happen. It's just meant to be what it is now. And we'll have to wait and see. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.